This is a First Warn Tri-Cities Severe Weather Alert. Here is Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle.
This is a First Warn Tri-Cities Severe Weather Alert. Hello everyone, I'm First Warn Tri-Cities Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle. We are coming on the air at 2:30 a.m. with some severe weather coverage for you. Let's take you here to our regional view. You'll see mostly quiet, a few isolated showers across Avery County, Watauga County, Ashe County, down into parts of Mitchell County there. But our main concern is off back to the west. This is a line of strong to severe thunderstorms. We have a tornado warning west of pushing toward our area. Bell County, which was where our viewing area starts, is bordered by a severe thunderstorm warning. So we figured we'd come on with the latest updates. We'll through the storm danger with you. And again, we're monitoring these storms right here. Let's take you to a more localized radar view. That was our national radar view. Take you to a more localized view, a little bit more higher resolution data. And there you see that line of heavy rain. There is some lightning within this and some damaging wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour. And again, some embedded rotations possible, and that's where we can't rule out that spin up tornado. Let's go to our velocity view in here and zoom in down to this tornado warning that's west of Corbin, because this is eventually going to make its way toward northern Bell County, parts of Leslie County. And we're seeing a couple areas of rotation that I want to point out. The first one, the one that's warned, is very broad, and it's west of Corbin, west of I-75. There's been a rotation area I'm watching west of Williamsburg that's been kind of trying to tighten up here. It's doing so a little better. That will head more toward Bell County, and that I will be keeping my eye on for the potential possible quick spin up tornado just west of I-75 near Williamsburg, and we'll push toward Bell County. Now let's switch back, or actually let's just keep it on velocity here and zoom out a little bit. That's a little too far. We don't really see any other spin within this line right now. That's good news. We're mostly looking at straight line damaging wind gusts. So let's go back to the next radar view. And this is where it's showing that line of severe thunderstorms pushing east-northeast. And these storms are booking it at about 50 to 60 miles an hour as they push through the region. Let's take me off the screen and let's show you kind of what we're looking at here. So again, let's go and draw this a storm track for you, and I'll real quick let me push this out and do it for the next 90 minutes. I'll kind of zoom out here. These storms are moving pretty fast here, and I will start it up here so we can include our Kentucky counties and drag it on down and then push it off to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. And that will put it through the western part of our viewing area. So this will push into the Pineville area of Bell County about 305. This will push into Bell County probably around 245 or so. Into Middlesboro about 306. Harlan 327. Sneedville 336. Pennington Gap 345. Cumberland 347. Rogersville 351. Whitesburg 358. Appalachia 359. Big Stone Gap 401. With this estimate, I do want to give an early heads up to the Kingsport area. You're probably looking more at around the, let's just say, 4:30, 5 o'clock time frame for the severe storms to move in your area. I do want to pop me back up on the chroma key wall because I'm seeing something interesting down here to the south. Little notches trying to develop in this line. If we see, this is what we're going to be looking for when we're looking for rotation. These little notches that are trying to develop. Let's pop up the velocity on that. Might be getting a little bit of rotation there, so we're going to watch it closely. Eastern Kentucky, because I would not be shocked here to see the Weather Service tornado warn this soon. The southwest of Williamsburg. It's really tight over the past few minutes, and as it pushes northeast, and it's right embedded within this line, so it's in a perfect spot. And as it pushes east-northeast, that'll head toward Bell County. So if the tornado warning comes out, it could enter Bell County. Now, let's go ahead and take you to our severe thunderstorm watch, because I'm yet to mention that. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch for Bell, Harlan, Letcher, Leslie, Lee, Wise, Dickinson, Hancock County, Hawkins County, and Greene County. That goes until 7 a.m. More counties could be added as these storms push in, as long as maintaining their strength, we likely will see more counties added in. You can put your questions in the comments. I'll do my best to get to them, especially while we have no active warnings in the area. Once we get active warnings in the area, it'll be a little trickier, but I will try to get to your questions as much as I can here over just live streaming, especially right now before these warnings really ramp up in our area. The tornado threat area-wide is low. We can't tell you where exactly these might try to spin up, but it's a low threat area-wide, so we will need to stay on guard for that. Let's look at our velocity imagery here again on these storms. And again, we're watching a few areas of spin trying to develop. So the one to the west, southwest of Williamsburg, there's also a couple down here near the state line that'll have to be watched. And we'll see what the Weather Service in Jackson will do. If they'll go with a broad severe thunderstorm warning which would possibly have the tornado possible tag, or if they'll try to do multiple tornado warnings on this, we'll kind of see how they play it. Because the National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky covers our Kentucky counties. Weather Service in Morristown covers Northeast Tennessee, most of our Virginia counties as well. So we'll go back to the radar here. Coburn, Virginia, and I'll actually zoom us out to the regional view here. We'll see those storms coming in. We're also seeing a little bit of development ahead of the line. That's something that'll have to be watched, especially in these western areas. Coburn, Virginia, again, in that level 2 out of 5 severe risk. And again, these storms heading your way, they'll probably be an hour and a half, 2 hours before they get to you. Church Hill, these will be probably to you around 4:30 or so. So give a couple hours there. And again, these could be severe with those damaging straight line winds, but cannot rule out a tornado within this line somewhere in the region. Not saying a tornado is going to happen. It's a low end threat, but it is possible. And these severe thunderstorm warnings are actually about to expire, I believe. The Bell County goes until 2:45. So yes, it's about to expire. And the one there for the fall, it also goes until 2:45. So we're about to see extensions of these severe warnings to the east. And the tornado warning they updated, it does go until 2:45. It's got 9 minutes left on that. And they're still watching an area of rotation 10 miles south of London, Kentucky. And that is the area that we'll be watching because it is pushing northeast and generally in the direction of Leslie County, Kentucky, which we do cover. 4 counties in Kentucky, and then Southwest Virginia, Northeast Tennessee, we cover 5 North Carolina counties as well. So I'll chroma key wall back up on here. And hey, I'm watching these light showers, nothing severe with these, just to the southwest of Boone, here along the Tennessee-North Carolina border. It is this area over here in Kentucky that we're, and parts onto the plateau that we're watching for that severe weather potential that will impact our entire, will be severe, at least strong to severe, as it likely does so over the next little bit. I do want to kind of zoom in on something down quick. Near Jellicoe, we're starting to see this little development ahead of the main line. That's a little worrisome because if one of these could get going, that would increase our tornado threat a little bit. I think that threat is low. One of these actually being able to get going enough. But we'll wait and see. Coburn, you're probably looking at another hour and a half, 2 hours before this storm line gets to you. Johnson City, this is going to be a few hours, maybe 3, 4 hours before it gets to you. And again, it could be severe. When it does, let's take a look at the velocity imagery on this because we are still tracking this as it's pushing very so close to our viewing area, which starts in Bell County. Again, still seeing these areas of rotation, also seeing areas of rotation, areas there within that tornado warning to the north near Corbin, and we'll see if they extend that out, if they just extend it as a severe thunderstorm warning. The Weather Service in Jackson has about 6 more minutes to make that decision. But it's this line of strong to severe thunderstorms that stretches from Kentucky all the way down into Alabama. But it's kind of this part right here that's on your screen that we're going to be kind of most concerned about. It's going to be this here from just south of Mount Vernon, Kentucky, down to the east of Crossville and pushing off to the east northeast is how these storms are pushing. And this is what's going to cause our potential of damaging winds, some scattered tree damage and power outages here as it does push through the region. So again, these are pushing through at about 45, 50 miles an hour. Some of these are moving a little faster. And again, we're watching it closely again from just south of Mount Vernon down east of Crossville, going to push east, northeast into our viewing area. Like I said, Bell County likely going to get under a warning here within the next 5 minutes. That's why we came on the air, give you that first warning that, hey, severe weather warnings are about to be issued for our area, and this severe thunderstorm warning for Bell County could have tornado possible tag on it. So we would treat that warning like a tornado warning if you're in that area, and we're actually seeing a little notch there in Bell County. You're seeing, or it's west of Bell County. It's pushing toward Bell County right here, and looks like the Weather Service in Morris ending their severe thunderstorm warnings now, and also the Weather Service is as well. So in Jackson, so Bell County is under a severe thunderstorm until 3:30 in the morning. And this does include all of Bell County. So new in here from the National Weather Service, all of Bell County is in a severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30 in the morning for the potential of 60-mile-an-hour winds. They don't have the tornado possible tag on it. We're watching a couple areas of rotation along this. We'll be interested to see if they extend this tornado warning or not. And then also the Weather Service in Morristown has issued severe thunderstorm warnings along this line, and those extend to just south of Middlesboro, almost to New Tazewell. These will continue extending into northeast Tennessee as we go through the next little bit. So again, let's zoom up into this, and again, I'll be interested to see, because the line is going to easily catch up to these cells out ahead of it, how these kind of mergers maybe cause increased spin, especially in the area that we're getting into right here. This is kind of concerning to me, though. This little notch right here, have a little bit of inflow going in. Switch to our velocity view. You're seeing that rotation trying to develop there where we're seeing that notch. So we'll be watching this for an elevated tornado concern along the Tennessee-Kentucky border, pushing kind of east, northeast in Bell County, Harlan County, maybe western Lee County at some point here over the next hour or so if it would hold. Again, that's where we're watching the potential closely. And I do want to note, yes, you're seeing at the bottom of the screen winter weather advisories. There is snow on the back end of this system. But worry is the severe weather threat as it does push through the region. Again, as we zoom out to show you, warnings now include severe thunderstorm warnings now include all of Bell County. They border Harlan County, they border Leslie County, border Lee County. And this kind of line kind of bows out, which is indicative of the strong winds, and kind of goes through all of eastern Kentucky down into East Tennessee. So let's kind of zoom back in here, down here where we're seeing this little notch and go back to velocity because it's kind of my area of concern. We're seeing the rotation start to kind of try to tighten up there. Yeah, near Williamsburg. So it'll be very interesting to see if the Weather Service decides if they want to issue a warning, a tornado warning for this year that would include Bell County. And that is possible. So again, if you're in Bell, kind of knowing where that safe place is going to be should a tornado warning be issued, is kind of making those plans. And we want to remind you that a watch means that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorm development. And we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for a good part of the region until 7 a.m. While a warning, though, would mean severe weather is imminent or already occurring. So we want you to make sure that you know that difference. So let's do this. Let's go back to the radar and the regional view and answer some more of your questions. Wise and Buchanan County both will end up seeing this line push through. Lower severe threat in Buchanan County. A good pushes east across the region is referring to Blountville there. And a couple of these comments asking about the storm. Has it weakened? It has weakened some. And we expected it to weaken some as it moves in. But no matter if it's weakened some from what it was back in West and Middle Tennessee, because it was very strong out there, our forecast is still holding strong because, excuse me, had to get a drink of water. We still have damaging straight line winds pushing into the region, and the storm is holding its strength of 60 to 65, maybe 70-mile-an-hour winds. And we are seeing the rotation at parts in the line, and so we're watching that closely. The Churchill area, probably looking at an hour and a half, 2 hours before this storm line makes it over to you. So let's go back to the localized radar view coming out of Morristown and down to the velocity imagery. And then I will zoom down here toward Bell County and the Tennessee-Kentucky border, because that's where our main concern right now, if anything, is. Again, we're seeing a couple areas, especially where that notch is taking place. It's trying to spin. Right here, just to the south of Williamsburg. That is something we need to watch very closely, because that area definitely has that little notch where it's trying to get the inflow. When I switch to velocity, I've got my mouse cursor there. We can see the rotation is trying to spin up. I'll actually illustrate that on the map for you. So here, where that potential rotation is, you can see that's kind of where that notch is too. So we're watching that closely. That's we have any tornado concern in the immediate future. That is where that's definitely going to be at. Let me hit that off map. Let's see, let's clear that, and then go back over here, and again, just kind of out because right now we're kind of in preparation mode and kind of just warning you out ahead of this line of storms. We are storm tracking because we have some storms close to the area, though, at the current moment. So, again, watching these storms very closely. The Tri Cities between 4 and 7 a.m., depending on where you're at in the Tri Cities for this. So, Kingsport looking closer to that 4:30 range, probably 4:35 range. And then, yeah, the wind. We don't have a map in our graphic system right now, but there is a wind advisory in effect for the entire region for non-thunderstorm wind gusts and a high wind warning for the mountains for non-thunderstorm wind gusts of 35, 40 miles an hour in the valleys and in the mountains gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And that is ahead of the storms, and that's just kind of showing you how much wind energy is within these storms, is powering these storms because we have such strong winds out ahead of the front, and the front moving in with these storms. It's giving that wind energy it really needs. That's why we don't really need the. That's why we don't really need the instability, the thunderstorm feel for these storms. I do want to note real quick that tornado warning near Corbin did expire. That I do want to look here real quick. Let's go and see if we can pop up our fear tracker. And the good news is I'm not seeing anything there right now. So if we do have rotation, it's not very strong. So again, that's good news, and I'll radar back up here so we can kind of take a look at it. And again, we'll zoom in, just check these storms again on the velocity because it's what we're here to do. And there is still some rotation near Williamsburg, Kentucky, and kind of pushing east-northeast from Pineville there in Bell County. So again, we're going to watch that closely. The rest of this line, I'll zoom out and then I'll switch back to velocity, kind of go down. Look at this. The rest of this line looks like straight line winds to me, which is good news because the tornado threat is very low within this, but the straight line winds could cause issues. Let's do this. We have a lot of people asking about times. So I'm gonna put as many cities on here as it'll let me and go as far out as my system will let me. So we can time this out for the next 2 hours at about 50 miles an hour. So this will at least put it into Kingsport. This is the northern part. I'll go to the southern part in a second. Um, Middlesboro 313, Harlan 335, Sneedville 347, Rogersville 404, Big Stone Gap 412, Churchill 419, Norton 420, Wise 423, Gate City 425, Kingsport 428, Colonial Heights 433, and Castlewood 4:43 a.m. So let's clear that storm track. And let's do the southern one, the southern part of the area. And again, this is the next 2 hours. We will head toward Morristown at 356, Beanberry 358, Bulls Gap 408, Rogersville 413, Mossheim 417, Bailington 423, Greenville 425, Tusculum 430, Gray 446. Again, these are not exact times, these are approximate. Storms do speed up and slow down, but if they stay their current speed at around 50 miles an hour, that is when they will reach those locations. And I can't track it out much further than that. The system won't let me go past 120 minutes or 2 hours. But we do want to give you as much of a heads up as we can, especially with these being overnight severe storms. And again, I fully expect this line will stay strong to severe as it pushes through the area. That's why we're on the air. That's why we're live giving you these severe weather updates, because this line could very well stay strong to severe. And again, this stuff just out ahead of the line that I was talking about just is not surviving. The line is, well, first off, the line is catching up to it and absorbing it in the line. That's giving the line more moisture. And also, there's just not any thunderstorm fuel to develop these. So again, interesting to see that stuff, though, is trying to form out ahead of it. And again, though, that could enhance a little bit of spin in the short term as well. So again, the area that I'm more worried about for any tornadic concerns in our viewing area would be Bell County, Lee County, Hancock County, Harlan County. Right now, short term, if we have any tornado concerns over the next hour, hour and a half, I think it would be Bell County, Harlan County, Leslie County, Lee County, and Hancock County. If we were to get a tornado warning in the next hour and a half, that's where it would be. I'm not saying we're going to, I'm saying if we were, that is where it would be, because kind of where how the ingredients are right now. So again, we'll go back to the radar. Kind of actually, I just want to go to the national radar and then zoom out and show you how expansive this line is. It extends from northern Kentucky down through Birmingham, Alabama, and down through New Orleans. Not severe the entire way, but severe weather from north of Birmingham, east of Huntsville, through Chattanooga, west of Knoxville into the Plateau, up through Corbin, Kentucky, up toward and just east of Lexington. Tornado warning there down between Montgomery and Mobile in Alabama. That's the only tornado warning on the board right now, which is good news. I do want to know let's go back here to the local high resolution radar. I do want to know, a lot of times we'll see some rain head of the line, and people will think that's going to weaken it. Not in this situation. Having a rain shower out ahead of the line weaken the line of storms, because it's not fuel that's fueling these storms. I know that sounds crazy. It's not the thunderstorm fuel, the instability. And we have now a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Bell County. They're warning of 70-mile-an-hour winds with that warning. We'll finish what I was saying. We're going to zoom back into Bell County. But what that is it's our lower level jet, our dynamics in the atmosphere, our wind energy, because the winds are so strong aloft, all just heavy showers is going to pull that down to the surface. And that is being indicated right now. Service in Jackson has just upgraded the severe thunderstorm warning for Bell County to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. You can see that on your screen. Damage threat considerable for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and it's for this line right through here. You can see there is a notch in the line that we're watching. Right there, it's kind of a comma shape, a C shape. We'll watch that closely for either very strong winds or perhaps a quick spin up of a tornado. There is rotation right there. Would not be shocked. Kind of shocked actually that we don't have the tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning. We'll zoom in because this is the part of the line that is going to impact Bell County here over the next little bit. So again, Barberville about to get impacted. This will push into Pineville. Frakes is down here in Middlesboro. Eventually Harlan and Hyden. in Harlan County and Leslie County, respectively. But it's this part of the line right now that the Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky says is producing potentially up to 70-mile-an-hour winds in Genesee, Kentucky line near Jellicoe, up to just east of Williamsburg, west of Barberville, west of Manchester. And it's this part right here we're most concerned about because we see this kind of V shape here, and that kind of notch in the line could get some inflow into it and cause a little bit of rotation. It also could just be indicative of those strong straight line winds making it down to the up above our head. 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour in some areas, and it pulls those down to the surface. And if we pull even just a little bit of that down to the surface, that is what we're watching out for very closely. So again, right here, that is our kind of notch in the line. You'll get some inflow in there. And make sure I have my finger in the right spot for the notch. See what our velocity lines up. Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of rotation right there. So the Weather Service is watching that closely, and if a tornado warning is needed, they will tornado warn it. But again, over there, just to the west of Barberville, we'll push into Bell County. We are watching that potential closely. So if you're in Bell County, just know that this severe thunderstorm could produce wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour. It's kind of what we've been talking about. These storms kind of will, spurt down a little bit, and could produce these winds up to 70 miles an hour in isolated spots here as we go through the next little bit. And then let's just go back down here to south, make sure I'm not missing any areas of enhanced. Oh, just near Jellicoe, just to the south of the state line. Also is an enhanced area of rotation that we're watching there along the plateau. That would be moving east-northeast here as well, eventually into Bell County. Let me see if I can get a storm track on it real quick. It's that little area of rotation. Back up. And it looks like the Weather Service has updated one of their severe thunderstorm warnings. That's for this. So yeah, so we'll watch this. Let's go back to this. And as you can see, and the line in Kentucky might look a little weaker on the radar because the radar is kind of having to shoot over the mountain. Some of this is kind of very elevated as of now. That could be why. We are getting reports of thunderstorm wind damage to the west, which will give the Weather Service more confidence when issuing these warnings here. But again, we're watching for little areas of spin within this line. Kind of shocked we don't have a few of the tornado possible tags on these severe thunderstorm warnings. But again, 70-mile-an-hour winds and that damage threat considerable is enough to cause some significant damage. So we're going to watch that closely here as we approach the 3 o'clock hour. What we are going to do at 3 o'clock, you will see me take a brief pause. We will replay our severe weather intro and welcome in our viewers over on B106 Tri-Cities. We'll do that about 3 o'clock, 3:01 there. We'll let that station identification play, and then we will let them join us online radio station that we're partnered with. And as these storms are now going to be at 3 o'clock pushing into the area, we do want to allow them to join us as well for some coverage there. So again, that is what we do. So people are going to ask, and I just saw one comment asking this. I'm going to address this. Can you go to sleep? The answer to that is yes, you can go to sleep. But if you go to sleep, leave your phone turned up. Make sure you have some ways to get weather alerts. Let's go to that graphic there. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive severe weather alerts should a severe thunderstorm or tornado warning be issued for your location. Because I do think this line of storms will stay strong to severe as it pushes into the region. So you need to make sure you have multiple ways to receive your severe weather alerts should you go to bed. Again, I think it's perfectly fine to go to sleep as long as you have an app on your phone that's going to alert you. Obviously, if you leave your phone on, leave it turned up, if you get a tornado warning or a very high-end severe thunderstorm warning, the wireless emergency alerts will go off on your phone. So that would wake you up. So again, as long as you have ways to get alerts, you are good to go to sleep. And so that's kind of the thought process there on can you go to sleep or not. The answer is yes, as long as you have ways to receive severe weather alerts. So again, we are at the top of the hour, so we are going to take a brief pause here. We'll be back here in just a couple moments here with our green analyst.
This is a First Warn Tri-City Severe Weather Alert. Here is Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle.
Tri-City Severe Weather Alert. I'm First Warn Tri-City's Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle. Been watching us for a little while on the social media platforms. We are on the air letting you know about some storms that are pushing through the region at this 3 o'clock hour. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's currently in effect for Bell County in Kentucky, and that is for 70-mile-an-hour wind potential. Damage threat on that is considerable. We do have more severe thunderstorms to the southwest pushing northeast, and we're watching push into the area over the next 4 hours. This line will move from west to east across the viewing area. Let's go to the velocity view on this line. So we're having some brief testing here with our radar. Let's see. So turn that off for a second. Go to the national radar view. Turn that off. Turn this back on. Yeah, we'll kind of work through these technical issues here on the radar side. But what we're trying to look at, I will try to get pulled up is this data here, and that is not what we want either. Okay, so there's the radar. Hit the wrong button. Okay, there we go. So there's our velocity imagery, which is what we were wanting. Trying to learn some new software here. And there is some areas of spin in this. So there is an area to the northeast of Jellicoe about to cross into Bell County that we're watching closely. Another area very weak northwest of La Follette as well. But again, we are expecting the storm line to kind of stay on the stronger side as it pushes through the area. You are able to go to sleep, but make sure if you do go to sleep, you have some ways to receive severe weather alerts as you go to sleep. That way, if severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warning is issued for your location, you'll know you'll get up, and if you need to move to a safe place, do so. Because again, this line is still very strong. I'll put me back up here on the screen for those watching. And again, this line here is strong, and it might look a little weaker in Kentucky. We're shooting all the way radar-wise from Morristown, Tennessee up. Well, on the Morristown radar, not the Jackson radar. But this line is very strong. It's pushing northeast into the area. And again, could bring some damaging winds of 60 to 65, damaging wind gusts of 60 to 65 miles an hour, an isolated gust of 70 miles an hour possible, and a brief spin up tornado cannot be totally ruled out within this um, as we go through the next little bit. So again, right here, that is where our thunderstorms is. Let's go to the velocity imagery. And again, most of this looks like straight line winds. There are a couple areas of weak rotation Kentucky border that we're keeping our eye on. But again, straight line winds, the main threat, 60 to 70 miles an hour looks to be the intensity we're going to be at. The gust will be somewhere between there if they are above severe criteria. So again, Harriman, Follett, to, let's zoom in a little bit. Filmed in my Kentucky towns, that's good. There's not as many towns up here. But just east of London, basically, that's kind of the part of the line that we have to watch in our viewing area to push through. And it will push through over the next, let's say, 4 or 5 hours or so. It's about how long it will take it to push from west to east across the region. Um, here, the storms are moving somewhere about probably 50 miles an hour. Some are moving a little slower than that. So again, this what we'll have to keep our eye on. We do want to note that a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. And this watch is in effect for Bell, Harlan, Fletcher, Leslie, Lee, Wise, Dickinson, Scott, Hancock, Hawkins, and Greene counties until 7 a.m. If these storms remain severe as they get closer to counties that are outside the watch, then we could see counties outside the watch get added to the watch. Uh, and a watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather over the next few hours, while a warning means that severe weather is imminent. We only have one warning in effect in our viewing area right now. That is for Bell County in Kentucky. And that warning goes until 3:30, I believe. We'll click on it here. Yes, it's until 3:30 for the potential of 70-mile-an-hour wind gust within that storm. Again, looking more like a broken line there now in that area. And let's go to velocity. We do have a broad rotation in spots in here, but again, mainly straight line winds. The Weather Service in Morristown says the part of this in Tennessee is only moving 30 miles an hour. So if this continues to kind of slow down, um, right now it's at 30 miles an hour on the Tennessee part of it. It will be a little slower getting into the area, through the area than what we had timed out a little earlier, because that was with the line moving about 45, 50 miles an hour. So just a heads up to those that were watching earlier, that those times could change as these storms move through. And like I said, they speed up, they slow down. Little notch there near La Follette. Let's see. Let's pop up. Let's see. Yeah, here's where that little notch is. Find the notches one right here. There is a little bit of rotation. Again, that's the little areas we have to watch, are the little notches in the line. Those C shapes, those comma shapes, that's the areas that we have to watch for the potential of a little bit of spin. Again, the tornado threat's very low. Very likely, no one's going to probably see a tornado, but there is a possibility of a tornado. The risk is low, but not zero where we're at with the risk level. At least the tornado risk level. Damaging winds, few areas can see some power outages with those as well. So let's see here. We have a little bit more time until these warnings get updated. So let's kind of zoom in these here. I want to go off the air and get something new to this too. That's kind of the only thing I'm worried about. Because right now, uh, these are kind of starting to slow down, so it's kind of hard to warn new areas and stay on the air for so long because these are just severe thunderstorm warnings. They're just pushing into our area. Again, there is some isolated areas of spin, but as of right now, these seem to be behaving rotation-wise. Um, then we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning, so we have a reason to stay on. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is a damage threat considerable for Bell, Harlan, Leslie, and Letcher County here. This is Harlan County, Northeast Bell, Leslie County, and Southwest Letcher. Pop up on your screen in just a moment until 4 a.m. 308 severe thunderstorms along the line from Holland City to 9 miles west of New Tazewell, moving east at 60 miles an hour with potential for 70-mile-an-hour wind gust within these. And they do say intense thunderstorms can produce brief tornadoes and widespread significant wind damage. There's that new warning on your screen for all of Leslie County, all of Harlan County, fills in a little bit of Bell County and far southwest Letcher County. Let's take it just to take the radar data off. You can see that yellow box. That is where the severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect until 4 o'clock. And the storms on the Kentucky side are they have those moving at 60 miles an hour. The Weather Service in Jackson does, and they are going to keep considerable damage level severe thunderstorm warnings. So that is the potential of producing 70-mile-an-hour winds within the warnings. And I'm slowly getting radar data to load back on here. Take a look at velocity. And we are seeing some areas there. Let's switch the Jackson radar real quick. See, the velocity will be the first thing to pop up. Let's look at the radar. So you can see now that we switched the Jackson radar, the northern part of this line is still holding its own. We just couldn't see it as well because we were looking at the Morristown radar, but I did want to show you um, that the northern part of the line is still severe and holding its own, even though it kind of didn't look it on the radar. I mean, that's just because of the radar site we were using to look at it. And Morristown covers the majority of our area better most of this line. So again, especially this part down near the Tennessee Kentucky border, which is the part we've really been keeping an eye on the most, because it's kind of been, looks like we're going to have a problem. That's where it's probably going to be. Next a little bit. Let's try to see here if I can turn this off and then turn. So I'm trying to pull up a rotation detector. And it's good if I don't see anything. I think that's a good sign. I don't think we have much in the way of rotation. Hail. No really hail within these. Let's see. I think the lightning tracker is working. There's that radar view. We'll go back to the next rad is the more high resolution. We will track these storms here. We're going to track the northern part first. At about, I'm going to slow it down to about 50 to 55. Hyden 329, Hyndman 352, Blackie 354 with Cumberland as well, and Whitesburg 403, Fleming beyond 411. Let's track this part of it. This is just over the next hour. And these, let's just move it 50. Middlesboro 328, Harlan 338, Jonesville 356, Pennington Gap 359, Sneville 358. These storms, they're indicating, are moving a little bit slower. Northeast Tennessee, but I still think they're probably moving around 50 miles an hour. I think they're starting to pick up speed a little bit again. Radar's indicating that as well. Cumberland Gap around 336 for those. This will enter the southwest part of Lee County around 340. Parts of Hancock County about 350 is when those storms will enter. Again, if we take a look at the velocity imagery, we know a broad area of rotation here along the Tennessee-Kentucky border, about to push into Bell County. And besides that, it's the only area we got besides this little area up here, but that's very broad and very elevated. In terms of rotation, You're not going to see anything near the Kentucky-Virginia line good velocity-wise on Jacksonville. But again, let's zoom into this part heading into Leslie County. You're looking at some very heavy rain, potential for small hail and wind gusts from 60 to 70 miles an hour right now. And again, it is okay to go to sleep. You can go to sleep as long as you have a way to get severe weather warnings if they are needed for your area. That is caveat. As long as you have a way to get warnings, perfectly fine. Um, some areas and a lot of areas may go under severe thunderstorm warnings. There could be an area or two that go under a tornado warning. It will not be widespread if it happens. But I can't rule out an area or two getting one of those. So you just have to be ready, just in case. And we will be here live. If a tornado warning is issued, we will definitely be here live. We might not be here doing all severe thunderstorm warnings here, especially at the current moments, as we just continue to watch these here move through and kind of move into our East Kentucky counties. And these are still probably at least an hour away from Northeast Tennessee because they have really, really slowed down. So that is what we're looking at. Let's look at the watch one more time. Severe thunderstorm watch here for Eastern Kentucky, Dickinson, Wise, Lee, Scott County in Virginia, and then Hancock, Hawkins, and Greene counties in Tennessee. It goes until 7 a.m. More counties may be added as storms move closer to the area. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect for all of Bell County, all of Harlan County, far southwest Letcher County, and all of Leslie County. The Bell County warning goes until 3:30. Harlan County, Leslie County, Southwest Letcher County warning goes until 4 a.m. These are for wind gusts of 70 miles an hour and the potential for some considerable damage within these storms. If we take a look at live radar here, that should pop up on your screen in just a moment. You do see that the line of storms here extends from eastern Kentucky down into East Tennessee. You're going to be pushing into the Knoxville area soon. Also pushing in right now to the Follett area and about to push into Middlesboro as well. So here's that does do so. We will check the velocity imagery here one more time. And again, we are watching some areas of broad rotation, but most of this looks to me like straight line damaging winds, potentially upwards of 60 to 70 miles an hour. So for now, what we will do is we will go off the air. For now, we will come back as more warnings are issued, and as soon as more warnings are issued, we'll be back on the air to let you know about them. Again, at 3:17 a.m., the only warnings for Bell County, Harlan County, Southwest Letcher County, and Leslie County there for straight line damaging winds. We're still awaiting warnings in Southwest Virginia and Northeast Tennessee. As warnings are issued, we'll be on the air to let you know about them. For now, I'm First Warn Tri-Cities Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle. We'll see you here, I'm sure, again in just a little bit.